How to insert the nib. For right-handed students, the flange will be on your left. Angle the nib away so that the tip does not point towards your hand. Push the nib in until the letter G is close to the flange. If you are left-handed, the flange will be on your right. Using the same method, push the nib into the holder. Be sure that the nib is not angled too much to the left or right. The imprint on the nib should also be facing upwards. Your new nib comes with a protective coating, which prevents ink from sticking onto it. The easiest way to remove this coating is to use soap and water, or glass cleaner that contains ammonia. First, swirl the nib in the solution. Then wipe it off with a clean kitchen towel or a lint-free cloth. Alternatively, you can use dishwashing liquid or toothpaste. How to ink your nib. When dipping your nib into the ink, try to avoid ink from getting into the flange. Tap the side of your ink bottle to remove excess ink. Make sure that the ink is covering the nib fully on both sides. If it's not, you will have to clean it again. How to hold your pen. If you're right-handed, the flange will be on your left. Slot your thumb in between the flange and the holder. Place your index finger on the holder, and your third finger will support the pen. If you're left-handed, the flange will be on your right. Again, slot your thumb in between the flange and the holder. Place your index finger on the holder, and your third finger will support the pen. The flange should angle towards the 55-degree guideline. The angle does not change when you write. Basic strokes. Downstroke. Perform the stroke with pressure going down. Release pressure when you reach the baseline. Upstroke. Glide the pen lightly upwards with no pressure. Overturn. Apply no pressure going upwards, and as you are turning down the curve, then apply pressure. Underturn. Start with pressure going downwards and release the pressure before you make the turn. Double turn. This is a combination of the overturn and underturn stroke. Your downstroke should follow the 55-degree line. Oval. Start with no pressure on the waistline. Slowly move down with slight pressure. Release the pressure before you reach the baseline. Descender loop. Move down with pressure, and as you're reaching the bottom, slowly release the pressure and move back up to the baseline. Ascender loop. Start at the waistline, move up with no pressure, and as you're transitioning downwards, begin applying pressure. Lowercase letters. A. For alphabets with an oval, you want to start by writing the full oval first before adding the stroke after. J. Your alphabets are formed with individual strokes. Try to lift the pen before every new stroke. H. R. The letter R starts with a lead-in stroke, and as you move down, imagine drawing a slight wave moving downwards. X. This letter starts with a downstroke. Then a second stroke goes downwards but without any pressure. Alphabet connection. The first letter will start with a lead-in stroke. Then, the exit stroke of your first letter will connect to the next letter. Uppercase basic stroke. Downstroke. This downstroke has a slight curve at the beginning and at the end. Upstroke. Lightly glide the pen upwards with no pressure. Flourish stem. Imagine drawing ovals when you are adding these flourishes. Capital stem. Similar to the downstroke, just add a dot at the end of your stroke. Oval. This is the same as your small letter O, just bigger. Lead-in strokes. There are 4 types of lead-in strokes here. You have your loop, double turn, and 2 different horizontal lead-in strokes. Uppercase B. Start with a capital stem. Then add the second stroke from the top. Uppercase D. Try to write this letter in one stroke. Imagine drawing an oval when you are writing upwards. Capital K. Start with a double turn lead-in stroke. Then continue with the other strokes. T. Add your capital stem. Then, with the lead-in stroke, add the bar on top. Z. For this alphabet, separate them into 2 strokes so that it's easier for you to achieve the long stroke. Practice words. Try to imagine writing individual alphabets rather than the entire word. Be mindful of the spacing between your letters. Try to practice at least half an hour a day. Do not be discouraged if your writing does not instantly look good, because practice makes progress. How to clean and store your nib. After you're done writing, clean your nib and make sure the ink is completely removed from the nib. Store your nib in a cool, dry place. This is a pan of handmade metallic watercolor. Add a few drops of water to the pan. You can let the water soak for a bit, then use a paintbrush to apply the paint onto both sides of the nib. Made in our very own studio. I named it Meitallics as a wordplay, as Mei means beautiful in Mandarin.